connection. Bunny's computer overheated and literally died. That totally sucks. But he's set up on a laptop ready to play now. He's still got all of his regular equipment, the keyboard, the mouse, all these other things. It's just he had to get it set up elsewhere. So we'll see how the rest of the series goes for him. Spawning in the top, spawn location. He's up 10 to 8 in this best of 69. It's Liquid Snute.
In the middle left as the blue Terran, it's Liquid Bunny.
And some sour police coming from Microstorm. $8 donation. That's just literally what he said twice. I assume those are some Twitch emotes. But thank you so much for contributing towards the prize pool of these players.
Sour please?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna tab out and try it right now. What is that? What does that turn into? It's I guess someone's sub emote then.
Oh, well, all right then.
Well, there we go, man. Either way, you got some people to spam in the chat for you.
Cool beans.
Cool beans. All right, so Snute and Bunny. There was really nothing to take away from the first time they played on this map. You know, this is again the remake because it was just Bunny kind of stuttering all over the place and not being able to control his units at all.
Yeah, there really is nothing to take away from it. I mean, Snute kind of took advantage of the fact that he knew that he was lagging and maybe even was kind of like a mercy kill, so he made a lot of links. And he ended up winning, quote unquote. So I don't think we'd see the same thing again, even if that was his original like go-to game number 19 plan. You know, because they're thinking that far ahead.
Yeah. Actually, it's kind of funny. Someone in chat asked just whose idea was it for the best of 69. So with no concrete like proof, I think it was Snoots who came up with it the first time between him and Baby Night, and they did it, and it's kind of, I don't know, a bit of a joke, bit of a for real thing. But I remember Snoot, when we went to I Am Toronto, kind of pulled us aside and said, "Hey, we got this crazy idea to possibly do another one in the future. Yo, do you guys want to cast it if we do?" And I was like, "You got it." Crazy casting hours, long time, super dedication. We got it.
That sounds like right up our alley.
Yeah. So, I mean, just to kind of expand on that, is like, that's at the very least how long the second one has been kind of in the idea of happening.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Snoot and Bunny had both discussed it at, yeah, I Am Toronto stuff like forever ago. I guess they both had WCS, and scheduling was never really fair for either of them, that it couldn't happen any sooner than this.
Plus, HTC wasn't even sponsoring them back then, were they?
No, it's just like, it's like an added bonus by waiting so long. Lots of giveaways, lots of cool things to have for the chat.
Yeah. Very exciting. Giving away that Yord watch was probably one of the most exciting times on stream.
I love my favorite part was trolling. Just like, and the winner of the watch is gonna be announced later. Alright, so getting into the game.
My favorite was like just like hating on the guy that didn't appear, right? Like that first guy.
Oh,
like, oh
yeah.
my god, guys, he's not here.
Yep.
He's not here. Yep. Oh, you have speed on the way. I did note that the last time we were doing other things that it's a good map for Reapers. Oh, no. No.
Bunny, please don't be lagging. Okay.
That's right. I told him no, and he was like, sorry. Anyways, but they're good for Reapers. So Proxy Reaper, 3 Reaper, which he's been kind of Reaper heavy most of the series, would make sense on a map like this. And as such, Snoots did a 15 pool. I think he was thinking along the same lines, and that made a lot of sense. But Bunny just does a normal build. 3rd CC on the way, Hellion, Stim, not too surprising.
Well, this time around, we'll be able to actually use the Hellions, which will be really nice.
Yeah. Snoot gets a 3rd, not 20 more lings. Good deal.
Yeah, it's just a small, subtle difference.
You know, what's up? We also have Bunny getting a little lucky with the positions, just because his drop tactics
yeah, that's right,
have been really good. So now he has an entire main base that has a lot of dead space in it to do it again.
I would definitely love to see it. I mean, Catalina was a map where I think Terran got the Imba side of the stick for once in a while. Just between the proxies that we saw that would come in the middle of the map to the actual drops. It's a fun map to really use and abuse, but at the same time, we expect all these things to go like one way, right? Not the case at all. Snute will do something else, or Bunny will take it another direction. And as much as I would love to see drops, and just like we saw in the previous 2 games that Bunny won, there's a chance he might not go for it because he's been really getting closer and closer to these big ones, like one big pushes, you know?
Yeah. Well, plus it's just, I think it's been proven now that Snute is capable of dealing with it. Like they feel and they look like they're doing a lot of damage, but at the end of the day, Bunny's not following up with the main attack and winning. So how much damage do they really do? And we look at the stats, look at the numbers, and usually it's not a whole lot. But so, if he's realizing that, taking a time while he boots up his other computer and he's thinking back on the past 19, 18 games, then he would be like, oh, okay, well maybe I'll just focus more on doing a very legit upfront push. Because there was at least one game he did that, and Snute was just not in position at all. He was like not expecting it. He was ready to deal with drops, and suddenly just things come at his third.
Well, we have a couple of donations to get caught up on.
Cool.
Christopher Waldhart says, thanks all, great idea, hoy and all that. I guess that's a brief summary of the intro to the map. Just, you know, hoy and whatnot.
Quite hoy.
Yeah. We also have a $10 donation coming from Verolios. Verolios? That's a fun name to say. Best of 69. Best idea ever. Add to the prize pool. Somberg and Rifkin, keep up the fantastic work. Good luck to the winners as well.
Thanks. There's the first drop, but it's not going to the main, which would be the most obvious place to go, even if you manage to get some damage done. It would be obvious. It's going to try and cancel the 4th immediately, which it just might do. Or clear creep. Yeah, either one.
Center step, as good as it was, and as slapping in the face as it was, the Queen with the Transfuse did win out. Looks like Bailings is going to still bug out with the first blood, cocoons and all that, but Bunny, you should probably get out of here. I mean, you can sit in the mineral line if it's just leggings all day, but the Marines. He does get 8 of them, or 7 of them, so it's not, I guess he does get 8 of them, less a Reaper, but still, this is too much for him to really stick around and deal with.
Well, he's got that drop in the main that's hoping to distract Snute, and it does distract him. He had units in the main base, but instead of splitting up the main army, he accidentally pulls everything.
It's like, Jones, do my bidding. Buy me time for me to save my... Oh, wait.
Yeah. Well, obviously that didn't work out that well. So he takes some damage in the main base. He loses the 4th base. He's taking more damage in the 3rd. No, not.
This is really important that he's got Bunny... Or, pardon me, the Bunny has Snute bouncing back and forth between the 2 bases. Because he's like, okay, he's doing a little bit of damage to the drone line with the 2nd drop, but most importantly, if he drive the lings away for long enough in the main, that's when he can potentially kill that Spire. So Snute, being the pro that he is, cleans up the main, now has to go back to the 3rd. Bunny is starting to rack up those drone kills pretty high.
And he's obviously not willing to give up on drop play quite yet in the best of 69. And this time, I think he has done the number damage. This is no longer just cosmetic. He got a cancel, he got some drones. Yeah. He's gotten quite a few lings.
I mean, resources lost really nicely in his favor. He's only lost the 1 Reaper, actually, pretty much. 24 Marines, a Hellbat, and 2 Hellions.
And here's the follow-up push. Now, again, by dropping, he's not clearing up creep, which is kind of the strongest benefit Snute has. There was that single scan, and that was it. And Snute... or Bunny does have to go across the map to attack the 4th. So while the drop plays better in these positions, the actual straight-up fight, you do have to go across the map, which takes a little bit of time. Not the biggest map.
Oh, once again, I really want to see some cool burrow tactics out of Snute. It is perhaps my single favorite thing to watch nowadays. Even though, like, it was really cool watching him win with Swarm Host, and it was almost hilarious. I really, when he started doing those burrow banelings all the time, fell in love with it. It was so good to watch, and he did it so well, but this drop actually doesn't kill any Mutalisks.
Yeah, that's the thing is though is that even though you see the Spire, Snute has been delaying Muta's beyond the Spire. So to try another drop to the main base wasn't a bad idea versus this specific player, but in general you would consider that they would be prepared for that with Mutas, and this time Snute happened to be. So nice little pick off for him, and that does even up the army supply again. I mean, it was like, 15, 20 army supply leads back down to basically 0, and Snute even has an upgrade lead. So nice, very nice.
Well, he'll meet up with the rest of his forces. Couple Woodwines with this one. Sadly, it might also just barely not be enough. If he had fought on the high ground with some of those units, that would have been really cool, of course, but Bunny also might not be thinking too much on that, as the Mutas are right here. He's going to focus some of the Baneling Cocoons down. Maybe? Nope. That's going to hurt.
Not a great engagement. It's looking like it's going to go okay, as he just split, and he can split, 9 ways, man, off the creep. Like,
he's focus firing on the Banelings, like underneath the Mutilas. That was pretty impressive for a time, but starting to run out of juice. There's some Marines here. The Thor's going to add just a little bit of damage, and I think he can push this back. In fact, he will push this back by the looks of it.
Sure. But he's now taken the supply drop. The Mutas might start getting out of control here soon, too. As Snute gets the last drones, he probably will this game. Wow, 8 more. Going to 70. 77. Oh, that's too bad. He was at 69. It was perfect.
Oh, you.
Oh, me.
I really miss it because Hyun was probably the best at this, honestly. Maybe Snoot's better now and I just misremember, rose-tinted glasses and all that, but Hyun was the guy who could just go heavy Banelings and win any game. You're like, oh, you let me get to 80 Banelings? Sorry, but you lose. Let me show you why. Oh, no, not again.
Fire on the upgrades again.
SCV's rushing to defend.
The armor, too. Like the one, he keeps on getting the weapons and carrying the armor.
Yeah, that's pretty coincidental.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh,
Bunny's gonna try and catch him, but that is such a big map.
And there's airspace to still fly around too, so it's not even that big of a deal if he gets caught temporarily. But for Snoot's sake, I mean, he does have to keep the Mutas alive. And picking up turrets is cool and all that, but he doesn't really have a lot going for him. Again, like in a big advantage. Stopping the 3-3 was nice. That actually buys him tons of time when you think about it. And as he gets back here to pick off the armories, maybe don't stick around. Get out of there with the Mutas.
Yeah, that was a little more dangerous, but only loses one in the retreat, so lucky him. Bunny was even going to try and chase with Marines, unless that was a pickup on accident. Does restart to 3-3, and it's still ahead of the Zerg player, which is always to be expected and hoped for. Though Snute does find the time and the gas to go into the vision, but whoa, Banelings. Hey.
Well, more like Banelings, whoa. Alright, so Snoot drew the army position out of position to make this work. But it is kind of one of those, like, at what cost? He threw away a lot of Banelings to kill that base. Or not even the base, but rather the SCVs mining at that base. If he can get on top of the Marines with that bio, or probably with the Banelings, then takes out most of the bio, no problem, and then the Mutilas can just Marine Supreme with nothing else to shoot up, but that Marine count is just way too high to engage.
Yeah. Well, this is the alternative. Just attack them where it hurts the most. Bunny gets supply blocked from that, in fact, and he's back down to 2 bases.
Don't get supply blocked for 20 seconds, you blow up.
I thought you were going to bring up how Nurchio got supply blocked for a minute when he was Terran.
No, that was still bad, but that's not all what I was going for that reference. Muta's coming back home, not quite Magic Box, but rather clubbed.
Oh boy.
However, looks like he will be able to deal with this. GG, and Snute will once again take the victory in Catalina.
Yeah, it just always seems like it's coming down to Snute's attacks and Bunny's base forces him to be aggressive. Then he loses out on his base.